A controversial Supreme Court verdict, U.S. to deport individuals to South Sudan under tense conditions. The U.S. Supreme Court has made an unsettling decision allowing the Trump administration to move 8 men who have spent weeks on an American military base in Djibouti to the conflict-ridden nation of South Sudan, a country to which they have minimal connections. The men come from diverse backgrounds, including countries like Vietnam, South Korea, Mexico, Laos, Cuba, and Myanmar, with only one of them actually from South Sudan. The Supreme Court's ruling on Thursday followed a decision last month where the court's conservative majority determined that immigration authorities could expediently deport people to countries with which they have no ties. This decision effectively overruled a previous district court judgment that required immigrants to demonstrate they would face risks like torture, persecution, or death if deported to a third country. Trina Muto, the attorney representing the group and the executive director of the National Immigration Litigation Alliance, emphasized that these men could face extremely dangerous situations, including possible detention upon their arrival. 2 justices from a liberal side, Sonia Sotomayor and Ketanji Brown-Jackson, dissented. They argued that the ruling unfairly privileges the government's actions, effectively allowing the deportation of non-citizens to South Sudan without ensuring their safety. Sotomayor remarked, "What the government wants to do, concretely, is send the 8 non-citizens it illegally removed from the United States, from Djibouti, to South Sudan, where they will be handed over to local authorities without consideration of the risks they face." But here's where it gets controversial. The Trump administration has been actively negotiating with various countries to accept deportees whom they can't swiftly return to their original countries. This move has raised eyebrows about diplomatic and ethical responsibilities in dealing with international human rights. The administration asserts these men were guilty of serious crimes, details the Trump administration uses to justify their deportation. Notably, the men had completed or were nearing the end of their prison sentences and had orders of removal instructing them to leave the U.S. One such individual, Tuan Tan Phan, who moved to the U.S. from Vietnam as a child and was convicted of manslaughter in a gang-related incident at 18, had initially planned on returning to Vietnam after serving his sentence. But the U.S. shifted his deportation destination to South Sudan instead. Originally, they informed the men they would be sent to South Africa, where they refused to sign the necessary deportation documents. This landed their case before Judge Brian E. Murphy of Massachusetts, who ruled that the government must notify deportees about their destination and allow them to express reasonable fear of torture. Truly, the plight of these detainees at Camp Lemonnier has been concerning, with reports highlighting their illnesses, the inadequate medical care provided, and the consternation about potential malaria threats and rest from militants. In May, the Trump administration petitioned the Supreme Court to approve their deportation plan to South Sudan. Meanwhile, deals continue to be negotiated with other nations to accommodate deportees outside their country of origin. The White House and the Department of Homeland Security has reported their signature, and Sold Glass have comments. What do you think about this ruling? Is it a step towards safeguarding human rights, or does it raise more questions about the responsibilities and ethical implications in international deportations? Feel free to let us know your thoughts below.